Deep beneath the ancient earth of Shaanxi province, a silent clay guardian stands waiting in the pitch-black darkness. It is one of an estimated 8,000 figures holding lethal bronze weapons distributed across a vast 98 square kilometer subterranean necropolis. These figures are arrayed in strict battle formation, facing east toward former enemy states. They serve a single specific purpose: to act as an active military force built to wage war against death itself. The man who commanded this army was Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor. The sheer scale of this burial complex suggests a motivation that reached far beyond the boundaries of his living reign. To understand exactly why this powerful ruler turned his ultimate attention from the living world to the silent grave, we must first look at the efficiency that allowed him to unify the empire. During the chaotic Warring States period in 246 BCE, a boy named Ying Zheng ascended to the throne of the Qin state. At just 13 years old, he became the ultimate ruler. Over the following decades, he launched a series of relentless military campaigns. Using calculated strategy, the Qin state systematically conquered and absorbed its neighboring territories. This animated flowchart illustrates the military logistics that made his victories possible. The Qin implemented a cellular production system, a method resembling modern Toyotism. Autonomous workshops mass-produce specific standardized parts, combining into a massive arsenal of lethal bronze arrowheads and weapons. When those weapons were later buried, the local soil provided a chemical shield. The slightly alkaline pH and fine particle size halted molecular decay, keeping the bronze blades and arrowheads pristine for over 2 millennia. Armed with this sophisticated war machine, Ying Zheng defeated the last of the opposing 6 states by 221 BCE, unifying a fractured region into a single nation. To mark the achievement, he abandoned the title of king. He took the name Qin Shi Huang, declaring himself the first emperor. By the age of 38, he had defeated every physical rival. But this victory over the land brought his final, unavoidable enemy into focus: the end of his own life. His rule was marked by rapid, forced modernization. He imposed a centralized bureaucratic state, standardizing currency, the writing system, and weights and measures across the newly conquered lands. He aggressively expanded his infrastructure, connecting scattered northern fortifications into thousands of miles of unified defense, known today as the Great Wall. But his earthly projects were mirrored by an obsession with the afterlife. He conscripted an estimated 700,000 workers to construct a sprawling underground citadel, a subterranean replica of his empire. Within that citadel, artisans produced the terracotta guards using an assembly line system of basic molds, but they hand-sculpted the final details. Archaeological studies show that among thousands of figures, no 2 faces share the exact same features. The military formation extends well beyond infantrymen. The pits contain dozens of wooden chariots and hundreds of life-sized cavalry mounts, arranged by strict military rank. The unexcavated central tomb is said to be even more elaborate. According to the ancient historian Sima Qian, the inner sanctum features a ceiling decorated to map the cosmos, and mechanical systems pumping liquid mercury to simulate flowing rivers and oceans. The necropolis was a microcosm of his ambition. It was an engineering project designed to bend the geography of the Earth and the mechanics of the afterlife to his will. As he aged, the emperor's search for immortality led him to dangerous, esoteric remedies. He dispatched envoys to find mythical islands and surrounded himself with alchemists promising eternal life. He ingested elixirs believed to possess life-giving powers. Historical evidence and soil analysis suggest these remedies featured toxic liquid mercury, which the emperor believed would allow him to live forever. Heavy metal poisoning destroys the nervous system. The continued consumption of mercury degraded the emperor's physical health and destabilized his mind, manifesting as severe irritability and a deep suspicion of his own court. This paranoia dictated his final decrees. Fearing he would be lonely or unprotected, He issued an order ensuring that any of his concubines who had not borne him children would be killed and entombed alongside him. To protect the secrets of his burial complex, he commanded that the middle and outer gates be hermetically sealed immediately after his burial, trapping the artisans and laborers inside to suffocate. The pursuit of eternal life dictated his final years. The very substance he consumed to defeat death acted as the poison that eroded his sanity and accelerated his demise. Qin Shi Huang died suddenly while touring eastern China in 210 BCE. He was 49 years old. Without its central, organizing dictator, the empire fractured. Peasant uprisings swept the countryside, and the short-lived Qin dynasty collapsed within 4 years of his death. Rebel forces breached the necropolis shortly after. They looted the bronze weaponry and set a fire that scorched the underground pits for 90 days. The burning wooden supports gave way. Thousands of tons of earth and timber collapsed, crushing the meticulously painted Terracotta Army into thousands of buried shards. The army lay in darkness for over 2,000 years. Then, in the spring of 1974, a group of local farmers digging a water well during a drought struck a fragment of terracotta. The subsequent archaeological effort reconstructed a shattered society. Excavations uncovered bare-chested acrobats, musicians, and civil officials, proving the emperor intended to rule a complete, fully functioning culture in the afterlife. The construction of this massive complex required the labor of 700,000 people, straining the nation's resources, only to see the empire crumble almost immediately after its founder's death. His physical dynasty failed, and the elixirs of immortality killed him. Yet, by burying an enigma beneath the earth, Qin Shi Huang secured a lasting legacy that commands the modern imagination long after his empire turned to dust.